I'll call this meeting to order. It's the regularly scheduled Transportation and Public Works Committee agenda that we have before us today. I'm Councilmember Reich. I'll be chairing the committee. I'm joined by my colleagues, Councilmembers Yang, Glidden, Palmisano, Bender, and Gordon. We're a full complement and may proceed with today's business. We have a few public hearings and a series of consent items. I'll go through the consent items first. Any committee member may pull them for further consideration if they so wish. Item 4 on the agenda is the storm sewer cleaning contract amendment with Vortec Hydrovac Incorporated, making the adjustment as listed. Item 5 is the ready mix concrete contract amendment with Chemstone Products Company, making the modifications as listed. Item 6 is the 2017 street resurfacing program project designation and setting of public hearings. The public hearing will be set for February 28th for the Lakewood Harriet area, March 14th for the 30th Street East project area, March 14th for the 7th Street South and 13th Avenue South project area, March 14th for the Washington Street Northeast project area, April 18th North and South Sheridan area residential project, and then the South Hay area project area, and then the 8th Street Southeast project area will be for May. Those two will be for May 2nd. Item 7 is the street easement deed from Hennepin County for a portion of 2408 Victory Memorial Drive. And that's authorizing acceptance of street easement deed with Hennepin County over that portion of the project. Number 8 is the Great Northern Winter Dinner Block Event. And that's approving the application for that event to allow them to operate outside the hours permitted under the code. Item 9 is the impound lot auction service contract with Copart. Item 10 is the impound lot towing contract with Wrecker Services Incorporated. Number 11 is the bid for the Columbia Heights Filtration Plant Partial Roofing Project. That's acceptance of a low bid for that work. Item 12 is the bid for the upgrading of the programmable logic controller, and that's accepting the sole bid, and we believe prices are consistent. And item 13 is the Downtown Business Improvement Special Service District petitioning requirement, and that's setting a public hearing for January 31st, 2017 to consider the subject matter of an ordinance amending Title 17, Chapter 465 of the Code relating to streets and sidewalks, downtown business improvement special service district, and amending the petition requirement to match state statute. Does committee members wish to pull any item? Seeing none, I will move all items as submitted. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. Those items move forward to full council consideration, and we now can move to the public hearings. I believe we'll be doing public hearing 1 and 2 as one hearing. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Bev Warmka will introduce these public hearings for 4th Street and for 18th Avenue.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Council members. I'm Beverly Warmka from the Transportation Engineering and Design Group. The first public hearing we have today is the 4th Street Southeast. This is actually 2 projects. Project number 2286, which is 25th Avenue Southeast to 29th Avenue Southeast, and 2996, which is 29th Avenue Southeast to Malcolm Avenue Southeast. The reconstruction includes new sidewalk, pavement, base improvements, and lighting along this corridor. We determined assessments using the influence zone area method with the 2017 rates of $2.60 a square foot of non-residential and 87 cents a square foot for residential properties. Between the 2 projects, we are collecting $450,000, approximately $450,000 in assessments for the segment from 25th to 29th, and $294,000 from 29th to Malcolm. Lighting, which is also assessed along this corridor, we're collecting $113,000 in assessments from the 25th to 29th corridor, and $95,000 from the 29th to Malcolm. The total project budget for these two projects is approximately $4 million, and it's also funded with net debt bonds as well as the assessments. Public meetings on these projects have started back in 2015, including a recent meeting last week to talk through some of the assessment questions. Be happy to answer any of the questions you may have on this.
Are there any questions per the presentation given by staff? Seeing none, I will then open the public hearing, and We do have people who have signed in, and I will go ask them to come forward in order. I'm having a hard time reading this. Richard? Richard,
Richard Gilliard.
Sorry
for the lettering.
your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Chair Wright and the committee for this opportunity to comment on the redevelopment of 4th Street. I live at 194 Malcolm. I'm a member of the board of the Prospect Park Association, the past chair of the Master Planning Committee, and a member or a founding member of the Prospect North Partnership and Towerside Redevelopment Organization that's concerned with redevelopment of this area. My comments will be brief. I think that for the last 6 or 7 years, the community has been trying to reimagine the redevelopment of 4th Street as a street that will unlock the value of all of the properties north of that street. This street serves the residential development that we had hoped would come north of the avenue, north of University Avenue with the development of the Green Line. That is happening. We have several major projects planned on the street with a total of about 600 or 700 units under construction. So we've been very supportive of the process that's going to make this a street that's beyond an ordinary street, quite an exceptional street. The process has been, in our mind, exemplary, and we very much are in support of this project. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Down the line, we have Jeff Bernhardt. Name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, my name's Jeff Barnhart. I work for Prospect Park Properties. We office at 2800 University Avenue Southeast, about a block away from the street. I feel fortunate enough to say that a lot of the units that Dick Gilliard mentioned were coming online are a result of some of the holdings that we have in the area. Our focus has been basically from 29th through Malcolm, so I think it's 996, or it's the second project that Bev mentioned. I've been a part of the neighborhood group. I'm on the board, and I've been a part of this process and trying to help with the planning of 4th Street. And first, I want to thank Public Works. They've done an amazing job coordinating with us for the last several years. We had a street delay intentionally because we have construction on our street, and I just think that you guys probably have heard about this project a lot, and I appreciate all the city resources that are being thrown at it. And I've been involved for so long, it's hard for me to speak negatively about the assessment. So I'm definitely willing. I want the street. It's been needed for a long time, and I appreciate this in the CIP fund. The lighting assessments are unique to me because we're bringing all the pedestrian traffic we're hoping, and so the pedestrian lighting and the assessment there I think is very well needed on our 2 blocks. I don't want to speak for the other property owners, but for us, we're willing to take the assessment, and I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate all the resources thrown at this, and we're excited for the area because it's changing a lot. So thank you.
Thanks for those comments. I don't have anyone else listed. Anyone else sign in subsequently? Anyone else wish to come forward and make comment? Anyone else wish to come forward? Please do so. Name and address for the record.
Good morning. My name's Chase Ports, and I'm the president of the J. Weedham Foundation, the owner of University Village at 2615 University Avenue Southeast. I think it's a great project that's being proposed. I've been in discussions with the city staff regarding the assessments, and at this point I'm opposed to the street lighting assessment based upon we're paying 11% of the street assessments and we're paying 22% of the street lighting assessment. I don't think that allocation is appropriate. Therefore, I'm opposed to that, and I have a letter here to give to the city clerk.
Please do. Thank you for the record.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to come forward and give testimony? Anyone else wish to come forward? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move the staff recommendation. And Councilmember Gordon, you wish to have the floor?
Well, I just wanted to speak and thank the staff and the community for working so hard on this. I also really appreciate that we were able to take the 2 projects and merge them together. I know we worked hard thinking we could get 2 blocks done, and we're hoping to get it done sooner. And lots of people encouraged me to be patient, and it might pay off. And now I think maybe it is, as we'll get all 4 blocks done at the same time, and they'll match. For my colleagues here, this is a road that leads right past the Prospect Park Green Line station. right to TCF football stadium there. It's a significant area that's seeing lots of redevelopment. I think hopefully one day kind of a national model for transit-oriented development as it keeps progressing. We also identified this area as an innovation district as a city council, and I think that really helped us think we could look at it differently and kind of gave permission to staff to get a little more innovative about what kind of things could we work with the community about. So I really look forward to this. I'm curious, and I'll certainly follow up on getting an explanation why it's 11% versus 22% with the street assessment and the lighting assessment, and hopefully staff will help answer your questions enough about that too, so you can understand how the formulas work out that way and that difference. I know that sometimes these can be a hardship on the businesses there to look at how they're going to be able to come up with their portion to help pay for these major investments. But I also think when it's done, everybody's going to be really glad and think this is worthwhile and it's going to help the area there. And I think all the businesses thrive even more.
Any other commentary? Echo Councilmember Gordon's comments, I think are very accurate. I think not only the physical outcome and project outcome will be very spectacular, but I think as the testimony was stating from several of the people who did comment, the process itself was quite remarkable. You have the confluence of institutional development, public, and then the private citizens taking leadership on this to create a collective vision that the sum is way greater than the parts. And that was not something that happened by accident. It was a lot of diligent work, a lot of great vision followed by diligent work. And I think the process will also be something that will be talked about as a national model. And your leadership, Councilmember Gordon, will be certainly central to that effort. So commendable all the way around. With that, I will move both items 1 and 2 for approval. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries. Well done. We'll now go to our other public hearing, which is item 3 on the agenda. And that is the 18th Avenue Northeast, Monroe Street Northeast to Johnson Street Reconstruction Project approval and assessment and areaway abandonment. Director
Mr. Chair and committee, Beverly Warmka is back to present this item as well.
Good morning again. This public hearing is for 18th Avenue Northeast, Monroe Street to Johnson Street. It's project number 6750. The reconstruction on this project includes new sidewalks, ADA ramps, and a new shared use path along the south side of this roadway, along with the street pavement and sub-base improvements as necessary. The assessments were determined using the uniform street lighting, the influence zone area method with a residential rate of 87 cents a square foot and a non-residential rate of $2.60 a square foot, collecting approximately $648,000 in assessments for the $5.9 million project. Other funding sources on this project are MSA and net debt bonds. Public meetings for this project started back in 2015, including we also had a meeting last week to talk about the assessments. Be happy to take any questions you have.
Any questions per the staff presentation? Seeing none, I will open the public hearing. We do have someone signed in. Laura Thurston, please come forward. Oh, it's completely up to you either way. So if you do not wish to come forward, no one else is signed in. I'll just open the floor for anyone else who wants to come forward who didn't sign in and who wish to come forward and make comment. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Make brief comment that this is a very significant project that staff has been working on for some time. It's, again, a piece to a greater vision that I think is much anticipated and will connect several communities once the different pieces come together to create a whole, particularly in terms of its accommodation for a bike trail that could connect north and northeast over time. So lots of good process, a lot of good community input, and I think the lack of participation here shows that the engagement was fruitful and satisfactory. So I commend staff for that. With that, I move the item before us as submitted. All in favor say aye. Aye. Dissenting nay. That carries. And I believe we have exhausted the agenda and therefore are adjourned. Thank you.